Ladies and gentlemen, how are you all? How's everybody doing? My name is Ken Ullman. I'm honored to be the chair of the Maryland Democratic Party, and I'm here to say thank you to all of you. I know we have, thank you for the obligatory round of applause. I know there's a lot of rooms here. I know everyone's exploring this exquisite home. If I could get your attention just for a moment, we're going to have a brief program, but I'm really here to say thank you to each and every one of you for being here. This is really an evening to thank our trustees and our friends of the Maryland Democratic Party. We had a big year, and I am so proud of the work that our team, our candidates, our staff was able to do. We executed the assignment we had. We were able to help Angela Alsobrooks, who did an amazing job, become the next U.S. Senator from the great state of Maryland. I see April Delaney there. You're going to hear from her in a moment, but what an amazing job she did in a challenging district, and folks in this room rallied around her and her amazing efforts. And so, April, congratulations and thank you. And we were also able to get involved in Board of Education races throughout the state of Maryland in a way that we hadn't done before. But you know what? We have these folks from the outside coming in, and these outside interests, Moms for Liberty, trying to tell us what we should teach to our kids in school, and these hate slates. And we stepped in 16 counties, and we made a difference where it counted. And I really want to thank everybody in this room. You know, we stood up the largest coordinated campaign in history, over $6 million. We had over 100 people on the staff, 18 offices, and we're able to execute because of the people in this room. And so again, you're going to hear from many elected officials tonight, but from my perspective, I'm just here to say thank you to everyone here for being the strength, being the backbone of the Maryland Democratic Party. So a round of applause for yourselves as trustees, and again, a big thank you. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our host. For those of you who haven't been here before, I know you're excited to be in this amazing home. For those of you who've been here before, you know that you've been here because Frank and Debbie are such wonderful civic activists, philanthropists. They're active in so many wonderful causes, whether they be political causes or social causes that support our collective values. And so, Debbie, thank you very much for all that you do. Round of applause for Debbie. And as I bring up our host, to Frank Islam, thank you for being who you are. Thank you for opening up your home. It's one thing to build an amazing home, which you've done, and keep it to yourself, but you've done it in a way to welcome in amazing folks for amazing causes, and to have you host the holiday party for the Maryland Democratic Party and our trustees really means the world, and I thank you, and I turn it over to our host, Frank Islam.
I see Jimmy Raskin. Jimmy, good to see you, my friend. I guess good evening. My name is Frank Islam. It is my pleasure on behalf of my wife Debbie and myself to welcome all of you to this holiday party for the trustees of our Maryland Democratic Party, which we are hosting at the request of Party Chair Ken Ullman. It is wonderful to be together tonight with all of our fellow trustees for this special occasion in this special season. We are honored to join by the Governor Westmore. Where's the governor? And members of our state and federal elections. Tonight, I see our trustee holiday party as a time to talk about and prepare the selling the 7 C's. The C's are celebrate, congratulate, commiserate, contemplate, collaborate, consolidate, and communicate. We will say the first of those 3 C's, celebrate, congratulate, and commiserate, in our holiday party this evening. This evening, we celebrate the democratic victories here in Maryland during the election cycle. Angela Alsobrooks, she's not here. And April Delaney. Where is April? We also celebrate the millions of Marylanders who exercise their constitutional right to vote in those elections. This evening, we congratulate those who, through their hard work and contribution, helped make the victory and the election possible. We congratulate and thank our Democratic candidates, their staff, the Democratic Party officers, and of course, all of you trustees. We also thank the election officials, the poll workers, the volunteers throughout our state who made this election in our state of Maryland seamless and smooth transition. We commiserate with each other on the loss of the race for the presidency of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, but we prevailed here handily here in Maryland, but did not do so nationally. The Harris and Walz candidacy brought us joy and hope. Their loss brought us sorrow and doubt. The doubt is about what will happen in the future. We know we can shape that future by looking forward, not backward. We can shape that future by sailing the next 4 C's: contemplate, consolidate, communicate, and collaborate. To shape that future, we'll contemplate what needs to be done to improve our party's already stellar performance and to make our state and county better. We'll consolidate those thoughts into a comprehensive plan for progress over the next 2 to 4 years. We'll communicate those plans widely to all citizens of this state. We'll collaborate to ensure their plan is implemented effectively and efficiently. We trustees make essential contribution and play a pivotal role in helping the party sail those 7 seas of the past and the future. It is Debbie's and my honor and privilege to be with all of you trustees and other guests tonight to celebrate, congratulate, and commiserate. We look forward to working with all of you in the future to contemplate, consolidate, communicate, and collaborate. In closing, I'm confident that we sailed those 7 seas successfully because the Democratic team in Maryland and our elected officials, public servants, and Governor Westmore. Governor Westmore, in his cabinet meeting remarks after the presidential election, stated, "We all have been working together over the last 2 years to put the interest of Marylander first. And that is what we'll continue to do because the people of our state deserve nothing less. And no matter what the future holds, I want Marylander to hear this message loud and clear. Maryland is prepared, Maryland is coordinated, Maryland is ready. Governor Westmore is a man of his word. I know with him at the helm of the Maryland ship of the state is in great hands. Thanks to the governor and to all of you for joining us for this Democratic Trustee holiday party at the beginning of the holidays. May you have joyous and uplifting time this entire holiday season with family, friends, members of your faith and community. Now I will turn it back to Party Chair Ken Elman.
Thank you so much, Frank. I think the governor's already called his speechwriter and told him to call you because the 7 C's, I know you got more there too. So actually, you should tell your speechwriter, be careful. Somebody's coming after his job, I think is what Frank and Debbie, once again, thank you not only for opening up your home and hosting us, but thank you for all that you do. We've got a brief program I'm going to get to in a moment. First, I want to recognize a special guest and friend. As Frank mentioned, obviously, things did not go the way we had hoped at the national level. And at the Democratic National Committee, there's now a discussion going on about what our messaging should be, who our messengers should be, how we become sharper, how we become better and stronger. And our former governor, Martin O'Malley, who's here, has put his name in to be a candidate to be chair of the DNC. And Governor O'Malley, I just want to thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your leadership. And thank you for being willing to take on this responsibility, sir. Thank you very much for all you do and all you've done. Next, I'm going to ask our county, I shouldn't say our county executive. In a different life, I was honored to be county executive in the great Howard County. I know that right now I am here Of course, I know that I'm here in the best county right now because that's where we are right now, Montgomery County. But I want to bring up my friend and the county executive from Howard County, Calvin Ball. And as I ask Calvin to say a few words, and then we'll hear from members of our congressional delegation. When I mentioned earlier that we ran a coordinated campaign in this state of over $6 million, that is in large part due to the fact that our elected officials, our county executives, our state senate president, our speaker of the House, our comptroller, lieutenant governor, governor, obviously, and all of our members of a congressional district, we all come together as the State Advisory Council and we help raise money for the coordinated effort. And to Calvin and folks who were not even on the ballot this time, but stepped up and raised money to help Angela, to help April, and our collective efforts in 24, I want to thank him and all the folks who led that effort. So with that, County Executive Calvin Ball.
Well, thank you to our party chair and, of course, my Howard County executive. I was joking with him and I said, so I have about 30 minutes to talk. He said, take off a 0 and cut it in half. He was right in that we made a difference. We made a difference everywhere throughout the state of Maryland, not only with Angela Alsobrooks, April Delaney, but also with Board of Ed candidates and so many others. And the reason why that's important is not just because we won, it's because we govern well. And while at the national level things didn't go quite as planned, Maryland remains the blue flame of hope, the blue flame of optimism, the blue flame that will reignite this country and set us on the path to go the right direction. I'm so honored to be your Howard County executive, but even more than that, I'm honored to be among so many leaders who stepped up when we were needed, and we will continue to do that. Thank you so much. Happy holidays and God bless.
I think it might have been less than a minute and a half, although I think we got a problem tonight because that blue flame of democracy, you got the 7 C, blue flame of hope, holy cow, and the 7 C's, man, somebody better be taking good notes tonight. This is golden material. So as we raise the bar, I just want to bring up next. You've heard us talk about her. You've you've heard us recognize her, applaud her. April McClain. Oh, that's about. People are so excited when somebody's about to introduce April McClain Delaney as our candidate. Don't get too excited now. Nothing else needs to break. But as I bring up April, just know that we had your back. We are so excited that you are the Congresswoman-elect from District 6, and we're so excited for you. And I just want to say thank you for running in a tough race and getting it done. April McClain Delaney.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm so excited to be here, I have to say, but let's give it up to Ken, because he did an unbelievable, but I have to say, I've been a Maryland trustee. I really felt like your back was behind me, but the whole Maryland delegation, Ken, the governor, the lieutenant governor, but everyone across the state really stepped up. They door knocked, and they were there for us and for our whole campaign. So thank you. I really appreciate it. And Frank and Debbie, I always say, John and I often say, and my husband's here somewhere, John, that when you open your house, you open your heart, and you open your heart again and again to the party and to the people who, and your values are there for the Democratic Party, but for all of us. So I just also have to lift you guys up because you're here in the holiday season, but all year long. So thank you very much. The only thing I'm going to say, because it's a quick one, I just want to say my appreciation I have been going through orientation the past 3 weeks. We have a class of about right under 60. We spent 2 weeks with Republicans and Democrats, really learning everything about Congress. And then I just spent 2.5 days at Harvard with a group of the more Democrats than Republicans. But what I really came away with, and it was interesting, one of the phrases was that as Democrats, diversity is our strength, but unity is our power. And really unifying together in our values and what we believe in, and how we are in 2 years going to take back the House and message appropriately, but also how, in Maryland, we're lifting up. I love this blue wave of hope. So happy holidays, really happy New Year. Thank you all, and I look forward to serving. I can't wait for January 3rd. So thank you so much.
Thank you, April. Next, I'm going to bring up Congressman, friend, partner, Glenn Ivey, who I just want to say thank you for being there for us. It has been so much fun to work with you, to reconnect with you, and just to have you be such a strong leader of Team Maryland. Let me bring up Glenn Ivey.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ken. Appreciate the introduction. Thank you all for the outstanding work that you did in helping us have such a success here in Maryland. It's been a challenging year in a lot of ways. We've got a lot of challenges coming up, but tonight's a night to celebrate. I see the governor there. I was at the Army-Navy game. Now,
Who won?
I didn't have a chance to change, but he did. They put him on the Jumbotron, and he had his Army gear on, and the whole thing over there surrounded by. But he kind of, I don't know, you kind of tipped out a little early, though, didn't you? No, I'm kidding. One of the C's. Yeah. One of the 7 C's that was mentioned was communicate. And one of the reasons I think we had problems at the national level was the communication issue. And I think we're taking steps to address that. You're going to hear from Jamie Raskin in a minute, who is the ultimate communicator for the House Democrats. We're really excited. He's going to take over the Judiciary Committee right now. That's going to be something to watch. The committee he was coming off, the committee he was coming off was the Oversight Committee, and Comer was the chair. And that was the committee they were trying to do the impeachment through. And Jamie crushed him, right? So now that they found out that Jamie's not going to be there, there's a race for Democrats to replace him. And Comer said, he mentioned other names. He said, AOC would be fine. Jerry Conley would be fine. Anybody but Jamie Raskin. I think he thought that was supposed to be an insult, but I think it was the ultimate compliment about what a great job Jamie did. We do have our work cut out for us. One of the things that happened at the game that kind of jumped out at me was they were showing people on the Jumbotron. They showed the governor, they showed other folks, they were giving awards away. Donald Trump was there, and they cut to the box, and the place went crazy. They were just bonkers about it. And I remember being at a game, I'm trying to remember what game that was, but 6 years ago, where he didn't even want to go to the game. How did we get to this place? And it's a lot longer than a minute and a half to talk it through, but the thing I think we need to figure out is how to communicate to people like that, who should be Democrats. Matter of fact, we just got the NDAA vote to give them the 14.5% raise that the Republicans didn't want to give them. And then we did the PACT Act to help them get the medical treatment piece that the Republicans voted, they blocked last time around. But somehow that messaging didn't get to them. Same thing with all the things that we did. Joe Biden's tenure in the first 2 years was probably the greatest legislative tenure since LBJ. Absolutely. Outstanding things got done, but we didn't get the message across to the folks. So we're going to have to make sure we do that coming up. We've got big fights coming. I did a thing on Schedule F Wednesday night with telephone town hall meeting. We had to cut it off at 15,000 people because there are that many people that are trying to get on. I guess we'll have to do another one to reach them. People are scared. People are worried about what's coming, and they should be. You know, some of these nominees, I'm on ethics, so I can't say much about Gates. But do I really have to say much about Gates? Yeah, I mean, come on, right? And the Defense Department nominee, he should be embarrassed about sending names up like that, but he's sending them, and he's kind of getting away with it. So we've got to make sure we take the fight to them everywhere we can. No more of this stuff about we got to pick our battles or any of that kind of stuff. We fight everywhere that the fight needs to be taken to, and that's everywhere in this country. Okay, I used Calvin's other minute and a half, so I'll stop there. But the thing is, it's great to be here tonight because I know you all are in the fight, right? Yeah. We're ready to go? Yeah. It's not over, we're getting started, right? Yeah. Back to work. Everybody have a great one.
Thank you, Glenn. And I don't think I need even more introduction than that. Let me bring up Jamie Raskin. Jamie had a birthday a couple days ago. So let's all say happy birthday to Jamie. Thank Jamie for now being ranking member. And when we take back the House in 2 years, we're going to be calling him Chairman Raskin. Jamie Raskin.
Thank you very much. Let's hear it for the magnificent job that Ken Ullman is doing as the chair of our party. He's really amazing. Frank and Debbie, thank you very much. April said when you open your heart, you open your house, you open your heart. And you guys have a very big heart. A very big heart. And, with a heart like that, Frank and Debbie could be in the Trump cabinet, okay? But they're people who are in it for more than just themselves. They are in it for all of us. And they remember the watchword of democratic success, which is solidarity with everybody in the society. And we want to thank you for your leadership and your participation in our party. And I want to thank all the trustees for what you do. The word trustee means a caretaker, and you guys are taking care of our party to make sure we navigate all the twists and turns of the complicated period that we are in. And election day, November 5, was rough around the country, but it was a great day in Maryland for us. We elected Angela Also Brooks to the United States Senate. We elected April Delaney. We elected Sarah Elfreth. We elected Johnny Oshevsky. We put abortion rights in the state constitution. And yet it's a sign of the solidarity that we have in Maryland with the rest of the country, people everywhere, that we were despondent and demoralized by what had happened, because so many Marylanders, the leaders in this room and activists in this room, went to Pennsylvania and went to Michigan and traveled around the country to fight. And we came up short. And we're going to put a great new DNC chair in there. We're only with 3 votes behind in the House right now. It'll be 220 to 215, but 3 members are leaving, Matt Gaetz, Ms. Stefanik, and Mike Walls, which means that it'll be 217 to 215, which means they cannot lose a single vote. And there are at least 4 or 5 rational people left in the Republican caucus. So we think we're going to be able to appeal to those people on some votes. So we're going to be tough, we're going to be strong, and we're going to be smart and nimble in how we try to appeal to them until we can get to 2026, win the House back, and cut this reign of terror in half, because we're going to do that. It's a cabinet already of billionaires, and there's a name for that, which is oligarchy. It is the rule of the wealthy and the wealthiest, not in the interest of the public, but in their own interests. And I think the public is very quickly going to come to see that. And we still are delivering on the magnificent accomplishments, as Glenn says, of the Biden administration. I mean, we sat there for 4 years under Donald Trump. We had infrastructure week, we had infrastructure month, we had an infrastructure barbecue at the White House. We just never had an infrastructure bill. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris got elected. We got it in the first week. We passed it in the first month, a $1.2 trillion investment in the roads and the bridges and the highways, the ports, the airports, trail and rail and cybersecurity. The Democrats did that, just like we cut prescription drug prices. We had constituents who were paying $500 a month as diabetics in order to get their insulin, and we capped that at $35 a month. And we did the same with 25 other of the top most used prescription drugs in the country, limiting out-of-pocket prescription drug costs to $2,000. So Glenn is right. We got to do a study of why that did not get through, and how it is that Republicans threw their names up on signs all over the country for bridges and projects that they voted against. And people did not understand how it was the Democrats who were delivering. So we may change our tactics, we may change our strategies, but we are never changing our values. We believe that government must be an instrument for the common good of everybody and not a plaything for the guy who gets elected to office, which is what we're looking at now. So I want to thank all of you for standing strong for democratic values through thick and thin, not just in Maryland, but all over the country. Already we're hearing about some of the first day or first week agenda of the administration. They're planning on eliminating birthright citizenship on the first day that Trump takes office, saying that people who are born in the United States, who have become citizens immediately since the passage of the 14th Amendment, will not be citizens now if one of their parents is an undocumented immigrant. That's a radical change in our understanding of who we are as a country. The 14th Amendment reversed the Dred Scott decision to say that everybody who's born in America is a citizen of the United States. That's their first target. They want to endorse the 10 Commandments on the first day and have the 10 Commandments posted in all of the government buildings. Some of them came back after Louisiana did that. They brought that into oversight and judiciary, and they said they want to endorse the 10 Commandments. I said, gee, the 10 Commandments have been doing fine for millennia without an endorsement of the Freedom Caucus and the U.S. House of Representatives. No, they said the 10 Commandments are the basis of the Bill of Rights. I said, really? The first commandment says, thou shalt have no other God before me. The First Amendment says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. Okay, that is the first commandment to find the First Amendment. No, they wanted to go to the Rules Committee. We go up there, and they said they want to vote, an up or down vote on the 10 Commandments on the House floor. I said, you know what? If we're going to vote on the 10 Commandments on the floor of the United States House of Representatives, we should vote on each commandment separately, okay? And they shouldn't be allowed to get away with the omnibus package. You shouldn't be allowed to vote for any commandment you yourself have ever violated, okay? Because you'll be taking the name of the Lord in vain. So, Glenn, thank you for mentioning the Judiciary Committee. We're going to hang tough for the Constitution and the Bill of Rights of the United States of America when we get in there. And I want to thank you all for what you're doing. And I'll close on a bipartisan note just by invoking our last great Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, who spoke of government of the people, by the people, and for the people. That's what we're fighting for now. And today, we're not just the liberals standing up for liberty and the progressives standing up for progress. We are the conservatives trying to conserve everything they want to tear down, like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, the Affordable Care Act, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act, the National Labor Relations Act, the Fair Labor Standards Act. Today, we are the liberals, we are the progressives, we are the conservatives standing up for America. Let's go build victory towards 2026. Thanks, you guys.
How lucky are we to have Jamie Raskin fighting for us and the Constitution every day. Two things Both Sarah Elfrith and Johnny Olszewski wanted to be here tonight. Both called today. They're unable to be here. Sarah and Johnny both send their thank yous to everybody. Johnny, in fact, called while he was picking up a prescription for his daughter who's under the weather. And so I said, can I tell everybody that he said, please do. I want to be there. So a big, big thank you to everyone in the room who stepped up to support our new members of Congress. Not just April, but Johnny and Sarah as well, who are going to make us all proud. Next, speaking of making us all proud, I want to bring up our Lieutenant Governor, who makes us proud every day. I know she's a friend of everyone in this room. I want to just, as we bring her up, she's not only an amazing partner of our governor, she's a partner of everyone in this room. She's a partner of the Maryland Democratic Party. When we've asked her to do anything, make calls to some of you, do anything, she's the first one to jump in and say, put me to work, I'm ready. I'm such an amazing team player. And Arun, I just want to say a big thank you to you as I bring you up. Thank you for being such a wonderful, wonderful partner and a great Lieutenant Governor.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and happy holidays to you and your families. And I want to say to Debbie and Frank, where is Frank?
Right here, right here.
Oh, okay, good, there you are. I have known them since 2010, the very first time that I ran for office for delegate. And every step of the way, every campaign, every office that I've run for, they stood by me no matter what the odds were. So I just want to say thank you so much for your friendship and for believing in me all along. And also I want to say, I don't know, but I got the real personal tour of this house, okay? When this house was originally built, Frank and Debbie gave me the entire tour of the 47,000 square feet that this house is. It took several hours, but boy, do I know it. It's a beautiful, beautiful home. And it's exactly what April Delaney said. You open up your home and you opened up your giant big heart that Jamie Raskin said. So thank you. Thank you for being pillars in our community and fighting for our democracy. And I want to thank each and every one of you as trustees. Look, everything we do could not be possible if you didn't stay with us, if you didn't come out and give generously to the party. And because of that, you got a great rate of return in 2024, right? You were able to accomplish what the rest of the nation was not able to do. Now, I'm not as poetic as County Executive Ball calling it the blue flame of hope. I was just going to say that Maryland is an anomaly when it comes to that's all I could come up with. But I'm an engineer, okay? I'm not a poet. That's all you're going to get out of me. But it is an anomaly, and we should be so proud of what we accomplish here. I mean, honestly, to get Angela Alsobrooks elected and Sarah Elford and Johnny O, and I gotta say with April Delaney, I actually texted her on the day when she won, and I said, Congresswoman-elect, I want you to please let the former congressman in your home know there's a new sheriff in town. Right, John?
It's about time there's a good Delaney in the Congress.
Yes, there you go. No, honestly, thank you all for everything that you do. And Ken, we just love the Kenergy that you bring to the state of Maryland, right? Forget about Barbie. Yes, this is the real Kenergy here. And to the entire Maryland Democratic Party, from Karen to Joe to Aaron to Luca, every single one of you, you are awesome. You made this happen. Thank you. Honestly, I mean, this team was working round the clock at the DNC during the election, and you did a great, great job. So thank you. So finally, the last thing I want to say is that I have the greatest partner in work that anybody could ever ask for. Look, I love being a public servant. This is all I ever wanted to do, and I've done this my entire adult life. And I just, I just thought it just cannot get better than being a public servant. Well, it does, because when you have a great partner like Wes Moore, it is the pinnacle of getting better. And I got to tell you, even though he and I were both at the Army-Navy game, and Army got demolished, Governor, I'm just saying, okay? But look at him. This is the type of person the governor is. Despite having that defeat, he comes up, he gets up and gets right back in the ring, smiling and happy, right? Not just that. Another thing, look, I've had the pleasure of working beside him for over 2 years. And you know Maryland has been through its ups and downs, from the FSK bridge to the good things of winning the FBI and now being, unfortunately maybe taken away. Through it all, he's been so steadfast, his leadership, his vision, his compassion. And I'm going to tell you a story about the governor that most of you, will not read in the headlines or newspapers. And that was after the FSK bridge happened. And as you all know, 6 transportation workers lost their lives, and their families are still reeling from that. And on Father's Day, which should have been a day that the governor should be spending with his own kids and family, the one day, he got a call from them a couple of days before, some of the family members, and they wanted to go to the exact location where the bridge had collapsed. So what did the governor do? He got a boat together. He was there with them every step of the way. They went over to the area where the bridge had collapsed, and they were able to bring closure. This is who the governor is. This is what a compassionate individual he is. And you're not going to read about that in the papers, but I want you to know we have an incredible, incredible leader in Governor Wes Moore. And Governor, it's been the greatest privilege of my life to work beside you. So thank you for giving me this great honor, and I want to thank all of you also for giving me this great honor. And I'm not sure if I'm supposed to introduce the governor. I am. Okay. So Governor, please let's welcome the 63rd governor of the Free State, your friend and my friend, Governor Wes Moore.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, how unbelievably blessed are we to have our Lieutenant Governor to be Aruna Miller. She's not just brilliant, she is an absolute bright light. And she's someone who literally everywhere she goes and everything she touches, she makes it better. And you all have seen that even during the campaign trail, Aruna Miller was all over the country. All over the state and all over the country, campaigning for Kamala Harris and really pushing our values forward. And she was doing such a good job. When I'd go out places and I'd go out and campaign for the vice president, people come up to me and say, it's amazing that you're, Aruna Miller's running mate. And I was like, I am, and I'm so proud. Because I'm proud to be her partner in the work every single day, and I'm so proud that she is our Lieutenant Governor. So Aruna, God bless you and thank you. Thank you. And I want to echo what you said about the leadership of the Maryland Democratic Party. You all are extraordinary. I mean, Ken, the leadership that you have shown, the willingness to literally go to all 24 jurisdictions in the state, everyone. Deep Creek Ken. Ken called me. It was like 2 nights ago, coming from the Western Maryland Democratic holiday party, and he was like, I was like, where are you? And he's like, I'm not exactly sure. So I was like, please, Ken, let me know if I need to notify state police. But what you and what Dr. Dukes and what Karen and Joe and this entire team have done, and frankly for the so many members here as our trustees and the supporters, none of this could happen without you. None of the success and the support we've seen could happen without you. So to each and every one of you, and I said it before and I will say it again, I want to be clear, you were the X factor. You were the ones that no one saw coming. The level of organization, the level of push, the ability to be everywhere at once. So much of the success that we saw in this past election cycle happened because of 2 reasons. 1, we had absolutely superior candidates, and 2, we had absolutely superior organization from the party. So congratulations, this really good. And speaking of the party, Frank and Debbie, God bless y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you for opening up this to your beautiful home, your beautiful hearts. It's true. LG is right. When we first came in, Frank and Debbie gave us a tour, and there's a part of the house that is called it's the Oval Office. That literally has like a replica of the Resolute desk, and it's a beautiful office. And when Frank was like, you know, hey, would you like to come into the Oval Office? I was like, I don't expect to hear that for the next 4 years. It feels good hearing it, 'cause I don't know when I'm gonna hear that again. But it really means a lot that you all continue to say yes. Say yes to us, say yes to our values, say yes to democracy, and say yes to progress. Because it doesn't happen by accident. Progress and change does not just happen, it is made to happen. And it happens because people say it's time to do this. And it is true, and you can see my voice will on. I was actually hanging out with Alice Kane Johnson's son at the Army-Navy game, who is a wonderful, wonderful midshipman. And they're all very happy right now. As an Army guy, you know, I'm very proud that the Maryland team won. And I say, I am Navy's biggest fan on 364 days of the year. It's just this one day that I ask for a pardon because I joined the Army when I was 17 years old. I am all Army. But there was something really beautiful that I did want to highlight and point out. And it's what happens at the end of the game. Because these two teams will spend 60 minutes playing their hearts out. 60 minutes knowing that every single play, every single practice that they run, the two-a-days that start in the summer, the fact that they know that they're going to have practice going until 8 o'clock at night, and then they got to go watch film, and then they need to go do their work, and then, by the way, they're back up at 5 o'clock in the morning for PT. They put everything into this sport. And they put everything in the sport for these 60 minutes, because for all those who know that you could have an amazing season, but if you lose Army-Navy, it was a bad year. This game is that important to these two teams. But here's what happens. At the end of the game, after playing for 60 minutes, they each get up. The Army side marches over to the Navy side, and they sing the Navy alma mater. The Navy side gets up and they march over to the Army side, and they sing the Army alma mater. There's something so beautiful about what is known as America's game. It's the fact that they know they will put in the work. And they'll put in the work with a clear understanding to win. But they'll also do it at the end of the day knowing that the people who they are competing against, those are still very much their brothers in the work. That the people who you're competing against, the one guarantee I can give you about every single one of those midshipmen or every single one of those cadets is that when they graduate, they're all about to go lead soldiers or they're all about to go lead sailors. They're all about to take on a real responsibility. They're all Americans. And so when people were talking about what happened with Maryland that made Maryland so unique in this election cycle, that made Maryland such an anomaly, that, you know, as we have, and by the way, I do want to give a shout out to all of our remarkable elected leaders, our mayors, our county executives, this extraordinary congressional delegation that we have. The people who are actively out there putting the work in every single day. And people say, well, what happened that made Maryland so unique at a time when we had this red wave around the country, but in Maryland, we're getting ready to send April Delaney to the Congress. We're getting ready to send Johnny Olszewski to the Congress. We're getting ready to send Sarah Elkwood to the Congress. We're getting ready to send Angela Alsobrooks to the U.S. Senate. What happened? We have just put reproductive health in Maryland's state constitution. What happened? And the answer is pretty simple, guys. Is that this group, this team, our candidates, They were willing to both put in the work and they were willing to understand that we are going out here and fighting for all Marylanders. Not people who live in certain jurisdictions. Not people who vote a certain way. Not people who have a certain family lineage or a certain family background. We fight for them all. Every one of them. And at the end of the day, we know we will compete, and we will compete hard. And as we saw, because of the hard work you put in 22, we had a great year. In 24, we had a great year. In 26, in Maryland, we will have a great year. We're going to keep this party going.
Yep.
Yup. And at the end of the competition, one thing we never forget is that the people we are fighting for is we are not fighting for people of a party. We're not fighting for people of a neighborhood or community. We're Team Maryland. And we fight for them all. And results do matter. And so in this time when we have an opportunity and we have an obligation to show people that results actually do matter. That when we can work together, when we can be aligned, when we can move in partnership the way we're moving in partnership with our state and our local and our federal leadership. When we know that we are singing with one chorus, one set of alignment, and when we can turn around and say that we've got the results to show that the work matters. When we tell people that coordinated, we are going to deal, and people say that we want to deal with the issue of public safety, and we can say, well, you know what's happened in just this past year? That because we've actually chosen to work together on the issue of public safety, because we've decided to take an all of the above approach when it comes to public safety. While we know we still have work to do, let's be very clear that in Maryland, we are now not just bucking trends, but leading national trends when it comes to increased public safety. We now have, across the state of Maryland, homicides are down 22%, non-fatals are down 27%, auto thefts, carjacking is down. In the city of Baltimore, after going 8 straight years of 300 plus homicides, for 8 straight years, literally the former administration didn't go a single year under 300. Now, in the first year, broke the back of 300. In the second year, about to break the back of 200. Baltimore's having the most precipitous drop in homicides and non-fatals in the entire country. Partnership produces progress. When we came on board and we said we've got to get people back to work. When we were inaugurated, we were ranked 43rd in the country in unemployment. 43rd. And we said we're going to work together and make sure we're making historic investments in childcare, because no one should have to choose between is my child going to be okay or can I go back to work? When we helped make Maryland the first state in this country that now has a service year option for all of our high school graduates, now allowing the African pathway to find the thing that makes their heart beat a little bit faster and get to work at it. And when we said that we were going to start removing the artificial barriers that were keeping people from the workforce, for example, when we now have a recreational cannabis market in the state of Maryland, but we have people who could not get a government contract because they had a cannabis conviction. Or people that could not get a student loan because of a cannabis conviction. And then we worked together where I was able to sign the largest mass pardon in the history of the United States of America. 175,000 cannabis convictions. And the results of the partnership have been clear. While first being inaugurated, we're 43rd. Now Maryland has for 14 straight months, amongst the lowest unemployment rates in the entire country. The unemployment rate right now in the state of Maryland is 2.9%. Partnership produces progress. And so we know that there are storms ahead. We get it. We understand there are challenges. We understand that we have an administration who is not just who it's not even just about the policies don't make sense. It's the values. It's the basic premise of values. So we know we've got work to do. And no one is underestimating the work. But we know this, in the state of Maryland, we know how to win because we know how to deliver results. And that North Star will not change, nor will it ever change. And so we've seen hard times before in our state. We've seen challenging moments before in our state. I oftentimes like to remind myself, we actually are the state of Harriet Tubman. We are the state of Frederick Douglass. And I would love to have the hypothetical conversation one day. And I sometimes do this where I'll, in the most challenging moments where you read history. And I imagine myself having a conversation with Harriet Tubman, explaining to her how difficult my day was. We've seen our days before, guys. We've seen challenges. We've seen administrations that we know that while we will always find a place to try to find common ground, we have seen administrations before where we know we are going to have to spend an enormous amount of time also defending basic freedoms, rights, and our Constitution. We've seen this before. And still we rise. This moment is going to require nothing different. It's going to require everything we've got. It's going to require us actually moving together and moving in partnership. It's going to require us defending and fighting for each other. And it's going to require us knowing that at the end of the day, or at the end of the game, whether it be hard fought, whether it be challenging, at the end of the day, we regroup and when we unite and we fight for every single person that calls Maryland home. That's our obligation. That's our solemn promise. That is why we will win in this moment. Because we never forget what it is that we're fighting for. So I am so grateful to have each and every one of you as partners in this work and partners in this fight. I'm so grateful that the entire country is paying attention to what's happening in Maryland right now. When we said this is Maryland's decade, people are like, oh, that's a great slogan. People are now calling saying, like, you know what, there's actually something to that. Maryland's just moving different, and we are. It's because we're moving together. And so this is a time to rest up, because we know in January, the work continues. And the people of our state deserve nothing less than our best. So God bless you guys, and happy holidays.
Thank you all. Have a wonderful holiday season. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you all. Have a great, great night. And again, thanks to our hosts.